Welcome back, Gore the Dog Butcher, back again to shine the light on these worthless mutts and these deranged dognut owners on the dog industry and this horrible dog culture. One thing I want to show, a few things, I want to shine the light on. There's one thing I'd forgotten to shine the light on something, forgot. It's things like this. I didn't record the video, but you can tell by the screenshot and by the captions what happened in this video. And it's not the first time we've seen this happen. Here you are, a parent, and you have a worthless mutt that is, I would say over, I would say guarding. Let's say guarding. It's guarding your own child away from you. It's not the first time that this has been displayed, where these dog nuts, pit bull nutters, will film themselves, where the dog will guard their own baby, like their own son, daughter, human baby. And you approach it, and this thing will growl and attempt to attack you, attempt to keep you away from your own child. And dog nuts, pit bull nutters, will find this funny. And it's very, very, very backwards. Very backwards. And this should be like unacceptable. This should not be considered funny. This is, like primitive. This is beta. This is simping. To allow your own worthless mutt to guard your own child. That's a beta. That's a punk. And in this dog culture, they glorify this. They do, and it really doesn't make any sense. And these dogs too, they will protect their own worthless offspring away from the human. So here we have these dogs guarding a human baby away from a human, and they will also guard their own worthless babies away from humans. Even if you've raised this worthless mutt from day one and this thing has a worthless offspring, they don't even trust you. They don't even trust you, the owner that has fed this dog. They don't even trust you near its offspring. This dog culture makes no sense. And again, it's a big lie. You have to be able to be okay with the lie. You have to be able to be naive and dumb to accept this horrible, toxic culture known as dog culture. And it even says, the father happily shares his dog, won't let him near his own newborn. The father happily shares. The father is happy to share that he's a beta, a simp, a punk, allowing this worthless mutt to guard his own newborn away from him. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. In Reddit, a Reddit post says, for leaving when your friends brought their dog to dinner. Some other source had made an article about this. I didn't read the comments on Reddit or on the website, But I'm gonna share what happened in this situation. I'm gonna try my best not to read all of it, but just the important bits. I 27-year-old male, planned a night out with my fiance, 28, and our friends, late 20s, at a trendy restaurant where we live. Back info: we aren't dog people. I've had girlfriends and relationships with me over the fact I don't want a dog. In the topic of pets, my current spouse is very compatible. They just aren't our thing, and our friends know this about us. Like we aren't the type to pet them all. A key part of the story: nearly every restaurant patio that are dog friendly, while indoors is not, is nearly impossible to find non-pet friendly patios. Our friends, however, are now pet people. They got a worthless mutt over COVID. They've become the people that take it everywhere with them. My fiance and I do hang out with them less because of it. We showed up about 10 minutes early for our reservation, and I intended to eat indoors. Turns out our friends beat us here. We were led to a patio table and see they brought their worthless mutt. I say, no, I'm not doing this. What are you thinking bringing that worthless mutt? The fiance and I went inside to see if the bar had any seats, and my buddy chased us down. Explains the dog sitter fell through, okay, and the dog will just lay there and not bother us. I don't care. Mentioned not sure why they need a sitter, and we aren't spending our meal with a worthless mutt. Told him it's effed up. You spring your dog on us. There were no bar seats, so our fiance decided to leave. My buddy said I'm an a-hole. I told him I'm not spending time with your dog. We'll figure somewhere else to go. I got text saying how effed up what we did was. Am I the ass? Am I the a-hole? No, no. Uh, everyone should have a right, whether or not they want to sit or be near a worthless mutt. And you have a decision, a moral, mature decision to say, no, I will not be eating near these worthless, disgusting, filthy mutts. And that's what this person did. And like the horrible so-called friends these were, they didn't even let them know, hey, we're going to bring the dog. Is that okay? Not even that. None of that. And they showed up with their worthless mutt. And they're trying to, I guess, negotiate, saying the dog will just sit there doing nothing. And that's a big problem. I don't care if I'm at a table and there's a dog maybe five tables down. I am not eating near any worthless mutt. Whether it's outside, inside, it isn't happening. And they decided, like mature adults, to just leave. They're not gonna fight it. They're not gonna argue with it. They decided to leave. And like the reckless, rude dognuts that these people are, what do? They end up name calling for really no reason whatsoever. None whatsoever. All because all because they don't want to be near their worthless mutt. And that offends dog lovers, and it should. It should, so they can get the message that some people, many people, few people out there don't want to be near dogs. And a lot of dog nuts, they can't respect that. Even when they're in public's place, they can't respect that. They can't respect someone not liking dogs at their home, They don't, even if they say they verbally don't like dogs or etc., they can't respect that. It gets them mad because they don't like a worthless mutt. Like, why are you getting mad for? If someone doesn't like a worthless mutt, what are you getting mad for? They're not saying they don't like you. They're saying they don't like the dog. And you dog nuts will get mad as if they're offending you. But they're not offending you. They're being honest and directing their problem at the dog. But these dog nuts will take offense to that. For why? It doesn't really make sense. They're not talking about you. They're talking about the worthless mutt. Again, you have a choice. It's not like dogs are necessary or essential. You went out there and you got and picked and carried this dog with you. This dog didn't pick you. The dog didn't choose you. You went out there and picked it. And you're acting as if when someone doesn't like dogs, they're being offensive. They're being wrong. What? Shut up. Telling me you like every other animal out there, but somehow no one is allowed to like dogs. No one is allowed to avoid you because you have a dog. Come on. These dog nuts are just the worst. Here we go again. Another thing, just to show how worthless and dumb and brain dead these worthless mutts are. Here we have pet-friendly ice melter. That's how dumb dogs are. That is how dumb dogs are. I'm guessing, my assumption is that they, I'm going to search it. Do dogs eat ice salt? Let's see what they says. Veterinarian says ice salt can cause chemical burns on pet paws and is toxic when animals lick it off. So all it's saying is that the chemical in the ice salt is, they're saying that the chemicals in the ice salt is very toxic to dogs. But again, this is another thing another problem that we have that is a problem for these dogs. We have animals night and day not having a single problem with ice salt. Not a single problem. But only dogs seeming to have a problem with something again. This isn't like it's the first thing. This is like the 1,000th thing that is a problem for dogs. Something that should be so minor. And now it's a problem for dogs because apparently it's toxic. Toxic on their worthless paws. And I'm assuming some of them will try to eat it. Well, natural animals don't eat it, and they do pretty fine. But these worthless, dim-witted dogs having trouble with salt now. And now they have to create pet-friendly, and it's really dog-friendly. They only show a dog. They don't show cats. They don't show hamsters. They don't show birds. They only show a dog, a worthless dog. And it's pet-friendly. No, they mean to say, and they should be saying dog-friendly. Because only dogs have problem with everything. And now they have problem with ice salt. Something so minor. So minor. And I don't know, dogs would probably try to eat it. All right, I'll let the video speak for itself.
The freshie.
Look at this
She's
thing.
a fresh dog.
Look at this thing. Tell me this thing isn't a brain
You're
dead
the freshest girl
chemical.
I ever met in my life.
And look at the dent in its head. And I always noticed it. These things have some big ass dents in their forehead.
The freshest girl I ever met in my life. She's a
I wouldn't be
freshie.
surprised if their brains are just dented, and this is why they're so aggressive and so dim with it.
She's a freshie. She's a
This
fresh
is disgusting.
dog.
This is disturbing. Real animals don't behave like this.
Freshest girl I
And
ever
if they
met in
do
my
behave
life.
like this, chances are they have rabies or something on
She's a
them.
fresh dog.
So does this thing have rabies? They'd be like, no, that's how the dog is, because these things are
You're
naturally
the freshest girl
dumb
I ever met in
and
my
brain dead.
life. She's a freshie. She's a fresh.
And again, I'm going to prove again how brain dead how brain dead these dogs are. Look at this thing. This is a cat. The cat is just standing there. My bad. The cat is just standing there. Just standing there, doing nothing. Well, this thing is acting a fool, acting dumb. Like, it's so dumb. Like, real animals don't do this shit, man. And another thing, they always say watch for the warning signs with dogs to avoid getting attacked. And here we have a cat, obviously, showing warning signs that it's either, a scared, or it's, going to attack. And what does this dognut do? She remains and stays and allows her worthless, dim-witted mutant to act stupid. She doesn't even back away and say, let's go somewhere else. No, she stays in the proximity of this cat. And while this cat is just standing there doing nothing, this dog is acting a fool. This is foolish. Like, this is foolish, guys. You can't call this normal behavior. Dogs are brain dead. Another thing, with these dog nuts, man, especially these dog nuts, a lot of animal lovers do it, but particularly is with these dog nuts, it's these captions. They are so, so corny. And this just shows that they're just delusional. They're living in this fantasy world, this dognut fantasy world, where they have to speak for these things just to play along in this dognut fantasy. That's what they do. And a lot of dognuts will actually think the dog is actually talking. Dognuts actually do that. They actually think the dog is actually talking and making these words. That's how brain dead the dog is and these dognuts are. Man. All right. So a man has his fingers and feet amputated after his worthless mutt bit him. So I'm going to let them speak.
It started to manifest itself. Resident Ian Chang had his life unexpectedly changed in the span of a few months after playing with his dog led to an accidental bite on September 6th. That rapidly developed into a rare infection called capnocytophaga. It started to manifest itself, and by the third or fourth day, I was starting to get big purple spots all over my body. At that point, I realized that something was really wrong, said Chang. So, we went down to the Campbellford Hospital, and from there, they took blood samples and realized that basically my body was shutting down. A day later, Chang was airlifted to the Peterborough Regional Health Center's intensive care unit and placed on a ventilator for 27 days. He was in ICU for 67 days because this bacterium completely overwhelmed him, said his friend, Michael Boussier. Chang M, 55, credits Dr. Greg Bishop, who determined what the bacteria was and proceeded to save his life. He's the one that determined what the bacteria was that was attacking my body, said Chang. It was a very...
Again, here we have a dognut who didn't have to, but they were dumb enough to get a dog, and this dog pretty much infected him with a deadly bacteria, causing him to lose his fingers. Lose his fingers and feet. And do you think that these dognuts, or particularly this dognut, do you think he learned a lesson? No, they don't learn lessons. A lot of them, even when they're getting mauled by a dog and someone saves them, they get upset because you shot the dog. They don't learn. For the most part, most of them, I'll say maybe 97% of these dognuts, they just don't learn. And this is not the first time something like this has happened. where dogs lick or bite them and they have to get their a limb amputated. And guess what? They remain dog nutters. They remain dog nutters. These dog nuts, they just don't learn.
Rare bacteria that is not too prevalent in North America, so it was important that it was on his radar. With that, they were able to start forward with my treatment. This treatment involved the amputation of all his fingers and both feet as a result of gangrene, stated Chang. He hopes his story can serve as a cautionary tale for other dog owners that this
Again, dog nuts, they don't learn. They don't take caution. They don't do that.
Bacteria is out there. From what I understand, it doesn't show up on a bacteria culture for a number of days, he said. Which is why it's so dangerous, because they don't know how to treat it initially.
Yep. Dogs are dangerous. Dogs are dangerous. It's not just the attacks. Even though this person did get attacked, it's not just the attacks, but the bacteria and the germs that they spread is what also makes them even more dangerous. You don't even have to touch a dog. But if you're in the same room as a dog and you're sitting on the sofa that the dog has sit on, eating off plates the dog may or may not have licked on, you can get diseases and just end up like this person or other people who end up dying because of it. Wasn't there a recent story of someone that got bit by the police dog, and days later he died? There are other cases of people getting licked by their dogs, and they have to amputate their hands and feet. And they don't learn. Even when they're getting attacked by these things, they don't learn. That's why if I know someone is a dog nut or a pit nutter and I see them getting attacked, what's the point of helping them? Like, what's the point? Because they're only going to promote and support the endangerment of people with these dogs. They don't learn.
Chang's wife, Quincy Padmore Chang, spent every moment she could at his bedside.
Yeah, I thought I missed a spot, something here, but yeah. But anyways, this is not the first time this has happened, and the main problem is these dog nuts. They sorry. The main problem with these dog nuts, they just don't learn. They don't learn whatsoever. All right. Here's another video.
It was last Thursday evening when Bader Ramadan says a woman and her dog entered his store on 7th Avenue North in Fargo.
This is first time happened.
They were there only for about 2 minutes before they abruptly left.
After a while, I smell like bad smell in my shop.
He says the dog had pooped on the carpet. It was runny and had blood in it, but that wasn't the only spot.
She put her foot.
Yeah, this is what I mean with dog lovers and dog owners. They're reckless people. They are reckless. The dogs themselves are reckless too, but dog owners themselves, they make things even double worse for people. Here we have a dog nutter walking into someone's shop and allowing their dog to shit and to bleed all over his floors, his carpets. Let them keep talking.
On that, and after that, she left with her dog outside, and she made a lot mess behind her.
Bader quickly smelled the stench from the mess and watched the cameras to see what happened. The smell was so bad, Bader opened the doors and started to clean them.
I would never hand clean dog droppings. Man, I either would have probably have to replace the whole carpet. I know that's probably too much. Or, get a carpet cleaner guy to do this. I would never. And now he's just, risking the chance of also be infected. That store now is fully contaminated. The dog shit, it goes all up in the air. It goes all up in the air. Now you're touching either with a glove or not, your shoes, you're probably breathing it in. It's going to only lift the risk of you and others catching a disease from these things. This is why I say all dog lovers, all dogs are just disgusting people. Stay away from them. And watch what
himself, which caused a lot of pain for him.
I have bad issue on my back. I cannot sit down too much on the floor.
Bader said he wasn't even that mad about the accident itself. What made him upset was the lack of concern from the owner.
Why she did stop to tell me what happened? Why she did not to tell me I'm sorry or can I help you?
Because they don't do that because they're just rude people. I hate to even call them people. They're just rude dog nutters, dog owners. This is what they do. This is what they do. This is what they are. This person didn't have the audacity to even say sorry. Not even a words saying sorry. This is why dog nuts are the worst. They are the worst. And I mean that. And I really do mean that.
Clean this. She did not.
Since then, Bader has banned pets from his store, and the stench finally has...
This is what all stores should be doing. And why do you say pets, though? Why didn't I just say dogs? No cat did this. No bird did this. It's dogs that are doing this. In some stores, they do have birds that roam inside the store. And I've never, I know they could also have bacteria and diseases, but you never really find them being much of a problem for customers. You just don't. They keep to themselves and they don't leave a mess anywhere. But when it comes to dogs, they will do it everywhere. They will make a mess. They will cause problems. So this isn't a pet thing or an animal thing. This is a dog thing.
Left the business. Bader just wants to know why this happened in the first place.
If I saw her, I say, why you didn't tell me? Why you didn't stop to tell me what happened? And you should stop to say I'm sorry at least.
In Fargo, Zoe Jones, Valley News Live.
And they can't even apologize. Like they can't even apologize. Not even a sorry. That's why these dog nuts are just the worst. But anyways, back to Reddit. This person says dogs are creeps. They ask, why is it socially acceptable for dogs to be such creeps? I mean, when a dog sniffs you in an unsavory place, that's how they say hello, or haha, isn't that so cute? Never mind if a human did that, my disgusted reaction would be justified. It's so funny when a dog invades your space. It's so funny when they try to lick you. It's so funny, and when they violate you. They're unpredictably smelly, invasive, violating, loud, annoying, nerve-wracking, ugly, creepy animals. Nightmare for my OCD. I consider myself OCD too, which is probably why me and dogs would never get along. We're the complete opposite. I've never liked dogs, and when I tell people, they don't think I'm serious, and when they realize I am, suddenly I'm a psycho because how could I not like something so cute? The question is, why is it socially acceptable for dogs to be such creeps? Again, I think it's because of the brainwashing with TV and with the cartoons. You never really see dogs get punished in TV shows. They allow dogs to be as wacky as whatever, and they accept it. So when it comes to dogs, they're always seen and portrayed as perfect, sweet, heroes, the good guy, always the good guy, nothing wrong. The naive, goofy, I guess you could say likable character, and and you sympathize with the dog. Even when the dog does something wrong, the owner sends it out in the yard, you sympathize with it. And you feel bad for it. And they use that over and over, and they condition movies and TV shows and in the news and media, and they make you view dogs as these trophies when they're nothing but a piece of shit. Whereas any other animals, like cats, for example, oftentimes, if you've noticed, cats are usually portrayed as evil. They're usually with the evil character, the villain character. They're usually very sneaky, manipulative, and the dogs are usually with the most likable protagonist character. So I think, again, the media, the TV, the cartoons and movies, they've done a good job brainwashing people to sympathize and to liking dogs. And the media, they keep pushing this pro dog narrative, and ignore all the flaws about dogs and this dog culture. They don't say anything negative about dogs. And even if dogs do something negative, they spin it into something positive. They don't point at the dog, they point at the owner, and they give you tips and advice, and they don't really shine the light on the dog problems, like dog attacks, dog parks problems, and things like that. They don't do that. They ignore the problem, they ignore the dog, and they uplift the dog. At the same time, even when the dog is the problem, they're really good at this. Even though the dog is the main problem, they're able to say the dog is doing this, but then point the finger at owners and give advice, but while at the same time ignoring the problem that has been going on for years. So again, I think it's just the brainwashing. It is the brainwashing. And for many years, no one really has said anything negative about dogs. I mean, out in the open, anything you hear about dogs is always positive. You rarely, till recently, I guess, to never hear anything negative that is about destroying or ridiculing or bashing or, putting down the dog. None of that. And people are so used to people always saying these positive things about dogs. Always, even when dogs are the worst and kill people and kill children, babies, you still don't hear anything negative about them. In these news medias is a perfect example. When these pit bulls attack people and kill people, what do? They bring in pro pit bull people, pro dog people. And instead of talking about the actual problem, they spin it in a way where they're blaming something else. They're blaming and looking and talking about something that is totally irrelevant, instead of looking at looking at what actually happened. This pit bull attacked and it killed someone. Let's discuss it. Pit bulls kill and attack people. The stats say pit bulls attack the most, but they don't do that. And even if they do bring it up, they have ways of spinning it where they can make the dog, the worthless pit bull, seem innocent. So the media, it plays a big role in this dog, propaganda. And that's why these dogs are able to get away with things that are just disgusting. They are. So I hope that answers the question, I guess. So on Facebook, on Facebook, there was a video of a bear, and there was a pack of wolves, gathering around it. And in the video, the narrator, will say, was, making it seem as if, the bear and wolves can coexist near each other. But in the comments, there was a few comments posted where a lot of these people, dog nuts, were anti-wolf. They were anti-wolf and saying no. Long story short, not in these words, but they were saying wolves and bears can't coexist. These are dog nuts, and a lot of these dog nuts were like saying, saying things like, be careful of wolves. They're like very anti-wolf. Like, for instance, this. They're trying to eat the bear. So these wolves are trying to eat the bear. This is their comment. They're in a pack. They're not trying to make friends. People need to stop putting emotions into wildlife. And this is what they do with these worthless mutts as well. They do it. Where they put these false narratives and an emotion and fantasy on these dogs to justify the dog in order to sell the dog. It's like the same thing. But as soon as it's not the domesticated dog and it's about the wolf and the bears, now they can, say be as rational as ever. And it's funny how, as they say, I kind of question it, but they say that the wolf, these domesticated dogs, they come from the wolf. The domesticated dogs are ancestors, and they, originate from the wolf. So a lot of these dog nuts would rather, kill off the father and mother. When I say the father and mother, they rather kill off the wolf and keep their dim-witted, dumbass, domesticated, worthless mutt. So I'm not making this up. They would rather kill off the mother and the father, the great-grandfather, the great-mother, the wolf. They'd rather kill those off and be all scared of them while they can keep their dim-witted, dumb, worthless mutts. It doesn't make sense. Here they are. They say these dogs come from the wolf, but if they had to choose, they would choose the dim-witted, dumbass, worthless mutant over the wolf, which is backwards. Makes no sense. And again, this person again says, can't wait for the first pack of snow up. I think it's snow up in Denver. Then you'll see how cute they are. So the video was like, boosting up the wolf. And this person, obviously a dog nut, if you can see in his avatar, obviously a dog nut. And this person is implying that these wolves are dangerous. And this is a dog nut, and how can dog nuts put down the mother and the father of their worthless mutt? It's so backwards. And these dog nuts, they don't like. I know we call them dog lovers and dog nutters, but in the real reality of things, these dog nuts wouldn't blink. They would kill real, natural, wild dogs in an instant if they can. They would do it instantly. So these dog lovers aren't really full dog lovers, because they're willing to protect any worthless, dim-witted dog, but they're willing to kill off the intelligent wild dog. Let that sink in. That's proof or some maybe some evidence that these dog lovers are not really entirely dog lovers per se. They're more domesticated dog lovers. They're more worthless mutt lovers. That's what they really are. And I think I should start using that more often. Worthless mutt lovers, worthless mutt owners, rather than dog lovers. Because these same so-called dog lovers hunt down wolves and coyotes, and they kill them Well, they have their domesticated dog with them, and we're going to say that these are dog lovers when they're willfully and willing to kill real natural dogs and glorify their dim-witted dog. Hope that makes sense. Some few things that I want to shine the light on. I don't know if I'm gonna do this more often or whatever. Not on my phone. I don't know. Again, I'm not very consistent. Some days, again, not interested in making a video. Some weeks I just want to just shut up and not say anything. And sometimes I want to make videos all for the whole week or whatever. But anyways, it's all good. It's good for me to keep shining the light on various, things that occur in dog culture. And like I said, a lot of things in dog culture, all of the negative things in dog culture isn't really spoken out loud. You may hear it there, here and there, but it's not out loud, and that's why a lot of these dog lovers, they get away with so much. These dogs get away with so much because people are speaking up, but it's either they're not being heard, they're not speaking loud enough, or the media and various people or certain situations, they just don't care for it. And that's the problem. That's why this dog culture flourishes, because it ignores the problem. And these dogs are the problem. They are the problem. And there, hope you enjoyed the video. Agree, disagree. I am Gore the Dog Butcher with another Worthless Mutts. And remember, it is okay to hate dogs.